Welcome to all. I am Himani Jain from Department of Computer Application. So today I am going to discuss about the static keywords in Java. What is the use of the static? So what is the use of the static and why we use the static in Java? So static is used for the memory management in Java, and it is used to define the class level members that are shared among all the object of the class rather than being specific to individual instance. Means when you create any variables and the methods, right? So it is shared among all the instance of the classes, right? When you create any instance variable, so each object has its own copy. But if you declare any variable as a static, so it is shared among all the instance of the classes, right? And we can apply the static keywords in the variable, methods, block, and the nested class. I'll show you with the help of the diagram what is the use of the static keywords, right? Let's suppose we have a two instance variables like age and the name, right? And we have a two object S1 and the S2, right? And we have a one variable, static variable, static college name. Static college name, the university name is equal to AKTU. AKTU. Let's suppose if I want to access the age and name, these are the instance variables. So how we can access this? With the help of the object S1 dot name is equal to XYZ and S1 dot age is equal to 30. Similarly, S2 dot name is equal to ABC and S2 dot age is equal to 40. Right? Let's suppose if S1 want to change the age 30 in the value of the 30 instead of the 35. So this age, the updated value will not reflect into the S2, right? Because in instance variables, when I create an instance variable, so every object has its own copy. So it means S1 has its own copy of the name and age, and S2 has its own copy of the name and age. If I change the age and name, it reflected value, updated value will not reflect into the S2. But in the case of the static, let's suppose if I print S1 dot college, S1 dot college. So what is the value of the college? AKTU. And if I print S2 dot college, S2 dot college, AKTU, it will print the AKTU. But let's suppose if I change the values, the college name is equal to ABES. College name is equal to ABES. So it means the updated values will reflect into the both S1 and the S2. Because if I declare any variable as a static, so it reflected values, updated values reflect in both the case, in both the object, but not in the case of the instance variable. So that is why if I declare as a variable as a static, so it means every object has its own copy, right? And it is, when I declare as a variable as a static, right? So it is shared among all the instance of the classes. So where we use a static keyword, so we can use a static keyword as a variable. So when a variable is declared as a static, it's become the class level variable, meaning that there is only one copy of that variable and it is shared among all the instance of the classes, right? Next, we have the static methods. So when a method is declared as a static, so it is associated with the class itself rather than with any particular instance. Similar case, when I declare as a variable as a static, so it is associated with the class level variable. Similar case, when I declare as a method as a static, so it is associated with the class itself rather than with any particular instance. So how we can declare the method as a static? Simply, you can write a static and void, let's suppose, display. Static void display. So it means you can call this method directly, right? And if you want to access this variable into another class, so you can access these variables with the help of the class name, because the methods, because it's associated with the class itself. So you can call this method directly or you can call with the help of the class name, right? Next, we have a static block. What is a static block? So static block is a block of code that is executed when the class is loaded into the memory before any instance of the class are created. Means when any instance of the class are created, when any object of the classes are created, so static class are loaded. When you declare any code as a static, let's suppose if I write a static this. So these are the static blocks. Let's suppose if you want to print anything, system dot out dot println, system dot out dot println. If I write hello, so it means when you execute this statement, these statement will be executed first before the constructors and before any methods, before any variables called. So static block are executed first because they are loaded into memory before any instance of the classes are created, right? And I'll show you with the help of the demo how we can implement it. Let's suppose we have a class we have a class of the student, right? Class student. And if I declare integer age and string name and string college name, string college name is equal to AKTU, right? And if I declare the main method public static void main string args, and if I create the object, two objects, student s1 is equal to new student, student s2 is equal to new student, right? Student s1 is equal to new student. Now, if I want to access the age and name, simply I'll write s1 dot age is equal to 30 and s1 dot name is equal to xyz, right? Similarly, s2 dot age is equal to 40 and s2 dot name is equal to abc, abc, right? And if I want to print both the variables, simply I write system dot out dot println s1 dot name, system dot out dot println s2 dot name. Similarly, you can print s1 dot age and s2 dot name, right? If I save this program, student dot java, cd desktop, java c, student dot java, java student. So I'll get the output xyz abc. Now let's suppose is s1 want to change the value of name xyz pp. So it means the updated values will reflect only in the S1, not in S2. Because, yes, because these are the instance variable and every object has its own copy. But in the case of the static keyword, if I use the static in front of the college name, so it means if I print the college name, so both the object will get the updated values. If I want to change the college name, by right, let's suppose simple college name is equal to ABES. And if I print system dot out dot println s1 dot college name, s1 dot college name. So both the object will get the updated values, ABES. And if I want to print with the help of the S2, Similarly, as to get the values ABES, right? And you can call directly without the without the object. If I want to print, simply you can print, you'll get the same output, ABES. And if you want to print with the help of the class name, so simply you can print class name dot static variable name, right? And if you want to print the static variables in another class, so you can call the static variables with the help of the class name. So these are the example of the static variables. Now we will take the second example of static methods, see how we can declare the static methods. Let's suppose we have a static method, static void display, right? One more thing, if you declare any variable as a static, so the static method, so static methods, in a static method, you can call only the static variables. Non-static variables you cannot declare in the static in the static method. For example, if I want to print the non-static variables in the static method, let's suppose name. So the compiler will generate an error message. The non-static variables cannot be referenced from a static context name, right? So you cannot access the instance variables in the non-static block. But yes, you can call the static name. Let's suppose if I use static integer c is equal to 1, right? And if I print system.out.println c, and if I call the display methods, so you can call the display method directly display. So you will get the output 1. Void type is not allowed. Systems, okay. You can directly call this method display. Java and the student 1. Now if I call it again, you'll get the output 2. Okay. In the case of the 2, you have to increment the static variable. Simply C++. If I use C++, then you'll get the output of 2. Java student 2. But in case of the, if you declare any variable as a without static, so every time when you call this method, so every time you will get the, you will get the values of the 1. Because in the static methods and the static variables, every, it is shared among all the variables, right? So in the first time, what is the value of the C? C's value is the 1, right? And next time when you call this method, so it will check what is the previous value of the C. So the previous value of the C is 1, right? So incremented value, you will get the 2. But in the non-static methods, it will not check the previous value, right? So you will get the values in the static methods, C is equal to 1. So this is the example of the static methods. Now we will see the example of the static block. Let's suppose if I use a static and if I print this simple any method message welcome. So first you will get the welcome message and then you will get the output according to what you have called. So first you will get the output of the welcome. Next, according to your requirement, what you have called, you will get the output. So this is the example of the static block and the static methods and the static variables, right? So in the next session or the next video, we will see the example of the nested class. So what is the use of the nested class and how we can implement it in the Java. Thank you. These are the references that I have used in my PPT. And thank you so much.